Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me. It's me. I hope you didn't think I went anywhere because I missed last week. You didn't get rid of me just yet. Hold on, I'm going to do it. Ayo. Ayo. How we doing out there, ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful Tuesday? It's a Tuesday. See, I'm sneaking up on you. I'm sneaking on. Used to be like a Wednesday or a Thursday kind of thing, right? But today I said to myself, we're going to do it Tuesday and see if we just trick the crap out of those people out there. I know you've all been sitting on pins and needles waiting for, with, bated breath, waiting for me to return. But I missed last week. I had a couple things going on and anyway, but, where have I been? Where have I been? I've been here. Don't worry. I still love all of you beautiful people out there. That's why we do what we do here on Operation Status Quo. I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, most importantly, we learn to create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there right now to create your own flow of quo? You know the deal. Let me know in the comments below, because if you're not living your flow of quo, you are most certainly living someone else's flow, and that's an absolute no, you are correct right here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let me ease into it. I came back from my dipsy doodle at the pool, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling relaxed, and actually I'm feeling really relaxed. I almost could just kind of take a nap. I'm like, oh, should I really do a show? I mean, do I have the energy for it? But as you see, I try to persevere and push through for you, the beautiful people of the world out there. The chat is up and running, so if you're here with me on the live stream, feel free to chime in and let me know what's on your mind. Otherwise, the comments are always there when you watch this back later, and you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. If you want to contact and talk and whatever, you know how it goes here. We're all friends on Operation Status Quo. That's what it's all about. Today is the 29th of July in the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled Nerf Disease. Yeah, I was thinking how interesting it is, because Nerf is kind of soft, and I just thinking how our world has gotten soft in certain regards, more so emotionally, just, people and their ability to deal with their emotions and such, right? And I call it Nerf disease because, I think of everything in goofy ways, but it's like, you think back in the day, back in I don't know, whatever day, probably back in the 30s or something, right? When kids would play, everything, everything they played with was hard and, dangerous. The scooters were made of wood with nails sticking out of them, right? Kind of stuff. You play football, you're playing football with a real football, right? And it's, you get hit with the football, you break your nose, things happen, it hurts, right? Real life hurts is what I'm saying. But then they started softening society, and using Nerf as kind of as the example, or speaking in in hyperbole or whatever you want to say. They create Nerf footballs, so when the kids play football, they don't get hurt, right? So when you're a little kid now and you want to go around shooting people, they got all those little Nerf darts and the little Nerf bullets, right? So you can go around and shoot all your friends, and it's all Nerf, and nobody gets hurt. But when you join the military and you go overseas and you get shot a few times, I think that might be a little bit of a difference. I say they should give these kids something. That's why the BB guns, right? Back in the day, kids had BB guns. They would shoot each other with BB guns. They, kid would lose an eye. Somebody got something stuck under the skin. But that if you shoot somebody with something, there's going to be a real effect. But Nerf has kind of taken over the world and made everyone soft. And that's how I'm looking at the whole world as like a Nerf world, right? I'm using the joking examples, obviously, of the football and the Nerf guns and such. But everything was made soft. It was turned everything into Nerf. Let's make everything Nerf world. Just how our society became, even in corporate structures and stuff, right? With all the political correctness and everything that made everybody afraid to interact on a real human level. We had to Nerfify. We had to Nerfify the workplace and make it soft and cozy and easy so no one gets offended or upset. Let me just say it like this, and this is what I'm talking about, because, take it back to whoever watches this show on a regular basis, what I talk about in general. This is a space really of trying to just think of things in another perspective so that we can free ourselves from the shackles of our mainstream society and what's been programmed into our brains, and what hasn't been programmed into our brains, or hasn't been released from what is in our brains that we never even knew that we had, right? So it's always kind of been in this like slowly dumbifying down, everybody, starting of course with the Nerf and making everything soft. But emotions, right? Emotions and people interacting. Like we've gotten so far with our technology and everything, as slowly driven people apart from that in a way. So now what do we sit and we're not able to communicate with each other. For example, just to say, like as a soul here in this life, whatever we are, growing and learning. If we're not met with challenges, then we're not going to grow, right? Just like anything else. So we can't make our lives soft. They've turned everything into take an antidepressant. Don't hurt somebody's feelings. But the moments in your life that are deep emotional turmoil, are the ones that transform us and help us grow into what we become and how we flourish moving forward. So but we're it's almost like how they put fluoride. They put fluoride in the water and fluoride in your toothpaste and fluoride and everything because, it calcifies your pineal gland. This way you don't have your true connection to spirit and such, right? It's the same thing, but with the emotions and the way we've taught youth to participate with each other, how we've taught people how to connect and communicate with each other and everything. No one is even aware of what it is to be an emotionally stable, emotionally responsible person. Hold on, let me take it because I know I'm laughing. Guys, I'm sorry I go off on these tangents, but I just said emotionally stable, and emotionally mature, whatever I'm saying. And then I'm thinking about myself here. What's going on? Hey-o. I think you'll find, quite honestly, that I'm probably one of the most emotionally mature and stable people that you can interact with. No, but seriously, right? And so this is the concept I have today. Just the kind of thoughts I was having as far as it's a Nerf world out there, a Nerf disease. We've been softened. And, and I'm not picking on any particular issues today of our politics and our everything, but let's take away the issues, right? And look at the people and their responses and reactions to the issues and the function of our society today. I mean, that's really what it tells you everything you need to know, because if we had a society of people that had a lot of inner strength and ability to reflect and see outside the box without the blinders on, they'd be able to, they wouldn't accept what's going on in our world today, irregardless of which side they want to lean towards, or what I'm trying to say. It just wouldn't even be an acceptable method of interacting and communicating and building community. But because people don't have the fortitude within themselves to even recognize, this is not. Let me just say this too. This is not to like chastise people who have. I know a lot of people. They suffer from depression or whatever addictions. There's a lot of things. I'm not even criticizing, but what I'm saying is like why is all that, and what makes it so difficult for a person to even get on the path of like, what does it take? Like once you're like this kind of level, I'm thinking this as I'm sitting here. This isn't a stream of consciousness, this show, ladies and gentlemen. So it's just the way it goes. But now I'm thinking of it. It brings me like kind of to another point. Like what does it take once you're a person that is suffering with say severe depression or addiction or any of that type of like emotionally, just like it seems like you're totally trapped stuff. Like what does it take to really break free from that? How do we how do each of us, we might not, some people might not be in that, or that might not even might seem like they're in that bad of a spot, but they could be functioning. I mean, how many people are really, let's be real, now that I'm thinking about it even more, most people are just like functioning addicts in some regard, right? Whether you're doing recreational drugs or drinking or, whatever, popping a couple pills through the day so you don't choke out your kids, it's pretty, it's interesting to think about, like that. And again, it's the programming of our society and the not from the beginning. What chance does a child have to learn anything from the onset without the guidance of those around them, him or her, right? Just to say without the guidance of the elders that already are in, like, and that's what you get. You get reproductions of what we already have, and then because of the powers that be and how they infiltrate society with their kind of basically their programming of media, technology, the way they disseminate it, and the level of importance and what, or how utilization, right? You can have this technology, but they make it for this kind of thing instead of like a grander thing that, could help everybody. But, it's just saying, so each generation gets worse. It gets worse until you get where we are today. I've had so many experiences recently, and I'm really good, like a calm, like for somebody that, I did have more, a little more rambunctious with my temper. I won't say a temper per se, but yeah, I get mad a lot quicker, when I was younger. I mean, I don't really get mad anymore. It's like I get agitated, and it's more so I just can't believe how dumb people are. Now, I don't know if that's because you get older, you just see things differently. I'm sure when I was in my 20s, people looked at me and said, that kid is like a real mope, but I mean, I'm just saying, but I like, here's a good example on this random story, but I pulled in to a convenience store, okay? And I was starting to pull into the parking spot, and the car here in this spot, the driver door was open, so I couldn't pull in. So I figured the guy's getting in the car, close the door. But then I realized there's nobody in the car, right? He's in the store, and the door's wide open. So I had to move back out and go. I parked another spot, but as I was walking in, he was coming out, getting in the car. I started, I don't never do this, but nothing happened anyway. But I mumbled a little bit. I don't even know if he was bright enough to even understand. I go, oh yeah, just leave your door open like that, no problem, right? He didn't even look up because he's probably gotten, again, he didn't look at his phone for the past 4 seconds, so he doesn't have time to respond to me. But when I was in the store, though, I did think what would have been great, ladies and gentlemen, is if I would have pulled into that spot and stopped right at his door, and then I would have got out and went into the store, and then when he came back, he would have had to wait for me, right, to move my car so that he could get out of the spot. Right? It just seems fair. Take an eye for an eye. Turn your heart into stone. Hey-o. Sorry, that was a quick Les Mis moment. Les Miserables, you guys familiar with the musical? It's like my favorite one. So this things kind of come out. Listen. You're talking to me here, ladies and gentlemen, so you know what goes on. But anyway, that's basically my point today with the Nerf world. It's just like we've all been kind of just think about it from that perspective of how everything's always getting softened. Everything's always getting softened. Think about our sports. I'm not saying it's bad. We say football, for example. I know they're trying to with concussions or whatever, but you can't touch the quarterback. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. When you think about how it was back in the 80s, how those guys were playing football compared to how they're playing, even baseball. I mean, between the pitch thing and the I don't know, they don't extra innings now, they put a guy on base already. It's always another level of softening, making it easier. I don't know. That's just how I'm not saying that certain things aren't good or not to be efficient or that things should never change. I mean, I'm sure it's better for kids nowadays to be playing with Nerf than it is to be playing with wood. Well, excuse me, than to be playing with wood with nails sticking out of it. Just like, I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. What do you think? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. That's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to ponder life on Operation Status Quo. And really, most importantly, this is a place of encouragement. So whatever I talk about, it really doesn't even matter. It's really the essence and the portrayal that I try to bring through of being a positive, upbeat. I'm not trying to be, I am positive and upbeat. And I want to kind of have you assimilate that through what goes on here on Operation Status Quo, because all we have in our lives is ourselves, right? And that's and our ability to maintain control of that, to maintain control of our emotions, to even be aware, when things go awry, and to get ourselves back on track, not to put ourselves down so much if a bad day or if we're not feeling right, or just it's so many levels of things for us to be responsible for emotionally, and we put a lot of instead because we don't do that for ourselves, we wind up in relationships and such that aren't right. That we're looking for somebody else on the outside, to kind of fill up what you're not doing for yourself on the inside. Then I saw a thing I was flipping through. Was I on Facebook or YouTube? Either way, how the ads pop up on everything. So I don't know where I was on, but anyway. And the first thing it says, do you know why so many people have? Do you know why? The woman came on and said, "Do you know why people stay in bad relationships?" And I clicked right off and I went, yeah, because they're stupid. Hold on, I'm going over here. We're going here. We need some mad crowd. I haven't done any sound. We need some laughter because we have to lighten the load. We have to scream because we don't don't know what the frick's going on in our life. We need a cannon, absolutely. We need to bomb somebody. That's what's going on. We need more applause. More applause. Don't you understand? Here come the helicopters, ladies and gentlemen. Stand down, and it's emergency. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. Everybody run. Jesus. Okay. I think I got to get you out of here. Give me an AO. We still got that mad crowd somewhere. That's one of the. There we go. They're going to. I needed to get that out of my system. I'm sorry. Whew. I feel so much better now. La, 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 la. Now we're doing the show. It took me about 15 minutes. La, 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 la. Now we're doing a show. Did I say that already? La, 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 la. All right. Hold on. Now I have to cleanse the space because I went too far. One more time. Shibida-ba, shibida-ba. Woo! We got that shit out of us. Yeah. Now I'll take my shaker and I will shake it right. It's so much fun to shake my shaker all day and night. Yeah. Hey-o. This is what I really like doing on this show. I feel like I should provide some level of content. So I make an effort to say something that's kind of philosophical or deep, but we have been softened. I'm going to let it go with this. We're going to move on because I'm going to do some news you need not know for you. But just keep that in mind. We've been softened, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and it's what they keep doing. So we have to be emotionally. We have to build that. It's just like any other thing in life, like your muscles, your memory, whatever. I mean, your emotional health and strength is something you have to work on all the time too, right? And think about how, whatever age you are, you're at different stages. Think of how old, how you've grown, wherever you are in life. Think about how you've grown, how you would have reacted to things in the past and how you react to them now, and what situations that you thought were like the most devastating in your life and how they really helped build the character that you needed to grow into what you are today. We should be, spending a lot more time talking about that and realizing that as opposed to, always trying to take the easy way out and just, blame somebody else or just shut ourselves down. It should almost be a requirement. Some countries, they require people to, go in the military. You have to join the military. Why don't we require everybody to become emotionally stable, before they go out and start, effing up other people's lives. All right, let's see. We have RC3 in the chat. RC3, how you doing? Nice to, let me give it a round of applause for RC3. He's with us in the chat. He's always hanging in the chat. Where are you? Why are you not in the chat? Heyo. RC3 says Nerf balls, ghost runners on second base. So, yes, ghost runners on second base. It's all about the Nerf. It's all about the Nerf. Like, making everything soft all the time, RC3. But not you, RC3. I know you're tough. You're tough as nails, buddy. So don't you worry about that. So anyway, RC3 with us in the house. All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, and do some news you need not know. I have some news. It's news. But it's news you need not know because it makes no sense and it has no value. But it's something they put on the internet, so I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, tell you all about it. Ah! I just made that up. What do you think? Do you like that? Should I use that as the intro for that every time? What did I do? I'll go back and watch it. I don't even remember. I was going to sing it again, but I forgot already. Okay, here we go. Our first story of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got here. We're just going to mess around. Listen, we have fun here. This is what it's all. This is just about messing around. This is not. There's no seriousness here. Do you understand? Please don't put so much pressure on me. There's nothing to be serious about. It's just a good time between friends. That's what we're doing here. Okay. A California woman, let me go back over here and read the headline first. California woman fills her hair with 711 golf tees, ladies and gentlemen. Golf tees she puts on it. You're lucky she didn't penetrate her skull. Maybe she did. Let's see. We'll find out all about it as we read here. This is back on July 28th. It was yesterday. Oh, my goodness. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Figures it's California, too, because like those are, I don't want to disrespect California. I know some people out in California that are really cool and really nice people, but there's a lot of people in California. All right. A California woman who loves golfing broke an unusual Guinness World Record by putting 711 tees into her hair. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's see. Her name is Anya Banish, I guess we'll say. She's 45 years old, so she doesn't really have anything to do, right? At 45, by 45, most women have gotten divorced. They're still probably dealing with the kids. They're out at the bar hoping to, get some kind of sugar daddy or something to pay their bills, right? Because now they're getting older. They're not looking as good. Oh, my God, stop. What happened? Now stop that. I'm very sorry. Now, that was very judgmental, stereotypical, and just quite unnecessary for the good messages that we try to send here on Operation Status Quo, and I won't have it.
Hey-o.
Thank you, Roger. All right, let's see here. Anyway, she's 45. She earned the title for most golf tees in the hair when her friends spent 47 minutes helping her fill her locks with the small wooden pegs. Now, this is kind of interesting right here, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, she's 45. And it took her 47 minutes to put the tees into her hair. Trump was President 45 and President 47. Do you think there's some sort of subliminal message going on in this story? I think something's going on. See how the news? Hey-o. You can't trust the media. You don't know what's going on. This story might not even be real. It's all just to get you to think 45, 47, 45, 47. All right. Anyway, and first of all, I'm not even happy with this from the get-go because her friends had to help her put the tees in the hair. You're going to win a Guinness World Record, whatever, and you're not even putting the tees in the hair. That's 711 tees, and you got a group of friends helping you do it? No. You do it yourself if you want to win the record, okay? That's just how we roll on Operation Status Quo. But she said, I've always dreamed of being in the Guinness World Records books. I wonder what I could be in there for, for the most nonsensical material one can provide. Maybe the rarest form of ADD, the ability to talk for endless periods of time without even thinking. I don't know. I mean, I should be able to. There's got to be a record for talking, right? I don't know, because those people in Congress and stuff, when they want to try to, do that whole shabil and filibuster and stuff, and they just talk for the 24 hours. I don't know if I could do it. I guess I could. I just read a book, Anyway, I just read more of this news you need not know. But anyway, she's always dreamed. It was a big dream. It was, as a young girl, it's all she could think about, right? To be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And it was a dream of hers. I wanted to create something around the golf world and thought this would be a great idea. So let me ask this then. Does that mean that someone else holds the record for 710 tees in their hair? I'm just curious. I wonder how many tees for a bald guy, right? What if I can get, do I need to do 711 if I don't have any hair? Do I just have to cover all the skin on the head but that would be even a little more difficult. I'd actually have to penetrate my skull partially to get all the tees to sit nicely, right? I don't know. Just a lot of things to think about. See, the news you need not know, but it really makes you think about a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I could make a story like this go for 15 minutes. It's unbelievable. What the hell are we doing here? Huh? I appreciate you being here, though. Please, have you subscribed? Do you like the show? Do you like me? Do you like yourself? Let's like each other. It's all about love here on Operation Status Quo. She said her record was inspired by Joel Strasser, a serial record breaker with multiple titles for putting objects into his beard. So I guess she didn't want to grow a beard. It's probably a little much. Again, being 45 and probably single, she, going out to the bars, having a beard is not going to be the best look. She says, Joel is definitely the greatest of all time of beard records. I followed his journey, and I'm just honestly inspired by how unique, creative, and funny he is. His creativity gave me the push to be okay, let's do something crazy too. I don't know. You can think of some other, maybe you can bungee jump from your hair with the tees. I don't know. It could be a little crazier than that's being crazy. I'm gonna put tees in my hair. All right. Anyway, so she thanks Joel for inspiring her to do something very goofy with her hair. That's her words, ladies and gentlemen. So a big round of applause for, what was her name again? Anya Banash. I guess it's Banash. Anyway, you know who you are, Anna. Congratulations. If you go look her up in the records.
Heyo.
She's the one with the T's in her hair. All right, let's do one more, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Let's see. There was another one I saw. Let's see. Okay, well, this is kind of in the same realm. I mean, what are people doing with their time? Again, going back to the softening of society, and, let's not put people down. This is a show of love. I want to encourage you to be your best self. So it doesn't help me. It doesn't help you by me telling you how dumb you already are, right? I mean, you already know that. Let's move past it and let's do something better. It's okay.
Heyo.
You're not dumb. I'm talking about the general population. If you're watching the show, especially if you've been through it like all this time, I mean, let's be real, okay? Let's see. Oh, yeah. RC3 says, longest filibuster, 24 hours and 18 minutes. So you have some time. Yeah, I got to keep talking. RC3, wasn't that the filibuster that they just did? It just happened like a month or something ago, right? I forgot what he was filibustering, what the story was, because I don't pay attention to the news so much. But I really think that just happened like a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, right? Is that am I correct on that? RC3, you can put it in the chat as I continue on with the next story. Let's see. Okay, so now we had the woman with the T's in her hair. Now men, not just one, but two, men attempt record by popping balloons between their bodies. Okay, I don't know. This one sounds, we probably can have just as much fun with this one as we do with the last one. Now, this is July 25th, so ladies and gentlemen, this already happened. So, if I'm late on this and you already know all about it, I'm really sorry. Serial Guinness World Breaker David Rush unofficially. Oh, it's unofficial. He didn't even, wait a minute. Where am I even? He broke a record. How can it be unofficial? Unofficially broke a record when he and a friend popped 10 balloons between their bodies in 7.5 seconds. Rush, who has more than 181 Guinness World Record titles to his name, originally teamed up with his friend Jonathan Hollywood Hannon and popped 10 balloons between their bodies in 15 seconds, enough to overtake the previous record of 17 seconds. But that was not enough. No, that was not enough. The duo soon found their time had been beaten by Colton Shepard and Cameron Severson, who popped their balloons in only 11 seconds. These sons of bitches! That's my freaking record. Why are you popping balloons between your body when I pop balloons between my body? Why don't you go do something original? Why are you taking my stuff? Now I gotta go pop balloons between my body again. You know? What are these people that want to have all these records? Like, why do you want to have so many records? Like, do you make anything? I wonder. Like, do you make money from having records in the Guinness Book of World Records? I just wonder what that even means. Like, what accolades? What does that bring you in your life? And that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's something I can invest my time into. So Rush and Hannon, stick with me on the story because this is very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Rush and Hannon made another attempt at the title, managing to get their time down to 7.5 seconds. Evidence from their attempt must now be reviewed by Guinness. Can you imagine? They're going to call the committee and, we're going to have the official balloon popping review board check and make sure this happened all legit, right? They probably should get the people who check the records for Guinness World Records to work for the government. Yeah, that's the idea. Have them do the checks on the Justice Department and the FBI and whatever, the DOJ. Have them have them check everybody. Because these guys obviously got their shit together. That's a good independent group.
Heyo.
All right. But it must be evaluated, reviewed by the Guinness World Records before it becomes official. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's pray and for Rush and Hannon that the Guinness World Record team makes it official soon. We don't want them to be held up from their record. God bless them. Oh, God bless you. I love you. So much fun today here on Operation Status Quo. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Remember, don't be soft out there.
Heyo.
Toughen up and stand up for yourself and do what you love and be you, and don't worry about that outside world that's trying to bring you down all the time. You have everything you need inside to be the best you can be. Take it from me. You see what's going on here, right? Proof is in the pudding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me here today on Operation Status Quo. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share. Send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. As you very well know, I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. Don't forget to go to pete.palma.com. Don't forget to listen to Happy Day album, now streaming on all your favorite music streaming platforms. God bless you out there. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Status Quo disengaged.
Boulevard of 10 short blocks.